Welcome to another episode of Strictly Business Unscripted. I'm your host, Keandra Jones. This podcast educates, ignites inspiration, fosters encouragement, and paves the way for growth among small businesses and the overall Oak Cliff community. But first, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Home Care Network, Dallas Zoo, Serve Pro, and Breakfast Brothers. Thank you for your support. Now, today we have an exciting show here at Strictly Business Unscripted. We're here with the fabulous Mr. Contreras with Taco y Vino. So we've got a lot to discuss here today. So welcome, Mr. Jimmy Contreras. Thank you for being here.
No, thank you so much for having me. Yes, it's exciting. This is like the first time I've done a podcast where like it wasn't a homie saying, "Hey, dude, I'm starting this podcast." You know, you made the joke earlier. It's like I'm not in the closet. This is a nice studio.
Well, thank you.
I feel so grown up.
Oh, that's funny. You feel grown up.
Yeah, I feel grown up. I like it. It's nice.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
No, I'm just kidding. I know.
Keep going. See,
the singing, the karaoke.
See, okay.
Planted that seed of singing. There you go.
Before we got started, we were talking about the possibility of us having karaoke night at Lady Love,
yes.
Actually.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to get into all of that because I think I'm going to talk you into karaoke.
It's never going to happen.
It's never
going to happen. Just because of stuff like that, people like me singing randomly thinking they can sing. It's a horrible thing.
Karaoke is so fun.
Karaoke is a lot of fun for a lot of people, not the people working. Not the people working in the place. Yes.
Love karaoke. I love karaoke. Okay, so
like I said, I get a couple drinks in me thinking I can sing La Bamba. That's not a thing.
So karaoke is not about the showcasing talent. It's about entertainment.
It's entertainment to one person. It's the one person that's singing. That's what karaoke is. The only person entertained. I saw a friend of mine get on stage and put up a song, and he was like throwing his hair around, swinging his neck around, threw up his neck, and never sang one word. And so it was like, and all the words are going, and it was one of the funniest things in my life. And he was just like, I really threw up my neck. I was like, and you didn't sing one word? No. I was like, we stood there and listened to instrumental track for whatever this is.
Oh, wow.
For like a solid 3 minutes. Yeah.
Wow.
The whole bar was amazing. Yeah.
Oh.
But it was great. It was a show. It was a performance.
Yeah.
But it wasn't necessarily singing. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what it's. Well, I perform for karaoke. I perform. I don't sing well, but I'm going to perform. If I'm doing Tina Turner for the night, I'm coming with the Fringe.
I love it. Yeah.
I'm coming with the whole 9 yards, and you're going to get all of it.
I dig it. I'm here for that. Anywhere else but at Lady Love.
Okay. Well, let's take a few steps back. Let's talk about Taco y Vino, how it started, where it is, and how it's growing. Tell me all the things.
Taco Vino started. We just celebrated our 7-year anniversary, June 1st.
Congratulations!
So thank you. Yeah, we live to die another day. That's one of my things. We're never assured tomorrow, but we're going to try real hard for it. Celebrated 7 years. We're located in the corner of 8th and Zang, in Oak Cliff, on the gateway to Bishop Arts, if you will. 1940s bungalow. We Joe McElroy, who was the landlord, was it kept finding me like walking on Bishop, and he was like, "You've got to come see this house. You've got to come see this house. You've got to come see this house." And I was like, "Dude, I don't want to do my own thing. Like I was like, I'm not ready yet. Like I was like, I don't like it." And finally, I was like, "Fine, I'll go." And I went and I saw the house and immediately fell in love.
Yeah.
And it was like it's had a parking lot right next to it, and it was just, and it was real peace back then, but it was restored it, and it's been wonderful. It hasn't been without its like little pains, but it's been a really great experience, and a lot of Taco Vino is happening to Joe McElroy. Just like, you need to look at this place.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You know what? So I walked in Taco y Vino, and it's probably been 6 or 7 years ago. I'm not much of a wine drinker,
right,
but you carry a wine that I love. Now, I'm not a grown-up when it comes to drinking,
right.
know?
I'm not either.
Yeah.
But I drink to get drunk. So,
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm just kidding. That was a joke. Probably a bad joke. I don't know.
It's fine. And you carry a Moscato there that I love because I like sweet.
Sirocco Moscato d'Asti. I used to carry it at Papa's. Like, that wine has been in my life for a solid 20 years. And it's just one of the best Moscatos I've ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great one. It's a I'm trying to remember who imports. It's not Banville, but yeah, no, it's a beautiful bottle.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's still on my list now.
I love it. And so now let's talk about the taco. So you are a taco and wine bar.
Yes,
Is that right?
yes.
Okay, taco and wine bar. And so let's talk about, there was a time in your life where you were ashamed.
Oh, dude, when I was a kid, like, you can imagine, being a Mexican in McAllen, Texas. I was born in McAllen, Texas, a border town. And a white-looking Mexican. It was like the white people hated you because you're Mexican, and the Mexicans hated you because you look white. Like, it was just like, it was, and I'm sure, like, I'm blowing it up now. I loved it then. It was amazing. I had my one friend, I don't know why his name, Mario Zuvieta, and it was like it was just, grow up in the valley was different then, you know what I mean? But yeah, I remember my parents would go and give me, like anything in a tortilla. And, always for lunch, I just throw it away the second I walked in. I was like, I'm not eating lunch today. It's just it was just one of those things I just didn't want it when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And then I was Beth Rankin, who used to be a writer for The Observer. Now she's the, recreational drug editor for the Denver Post, maybe Denver, whatever the magazine is up there, or whatever the newspaper is up there. She wrote. I was like, dude, just put up a bio. I don't know what to say. She's like, once ashamed to have tacos in his lunchbox, now probably serves him as a fully restored 1940s bungalow. And I was like, that's it. That's what I'm gonna do. So I kind of use it as like a little quick descriptive of my life because it kind of nails everything right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe that you were once ashamed of that. I love anything in a tortilla, but that's probably because I didn't grow up that way. But I get it. I get it. So, best-selling wine that Taco y Vino has, what's that?
So it's that's all over the board. Like right now, we're carrying a ton of Washington State wines, which I found it's Washington State Month for wine. Washington wine, something that's hilarious. I think it's made up, and so. My favorite is always going to be, we always sell a ton of rosé in that space. And right now we have one from Chateau Saint Michel, the Indian Wells rosé. That is a spectacular wine. And we probably sell the most of that.
Okay.
Especially given summer. During winter, we switch more to red, things of that nature. But
yeah. So we understand why you sell tacos or at Taco y Vino. What caused you to fall in love with maybe the wine portion?
Totally. It was when I was with the Pappas family, I was at Papado, and they had a really cool wine program back then. And I would always my GM would always be like, dude, put this down. Dude, we just got on this Great Viognier, put this down. And I'd study on it, and I'd look on it, and I'd start drinking more of it. Kind of became the number one thing that I drank. Originally when I was in college, I would go and get a bottle of Eco Dinami and have a girlfriend over, or have a girl over, make her dinner, have a bottle of wine out. And she was impressed. And I was like, oh, this wine thing could be kind of cool for me. So I was like, maybe this is going to be my in, And so, I still remember his Eco Dinami was the first bottle of wine I bought myself. And I went and bake some salmon, and open up the bottle of Eco Dinami.
See, that's a thing. You need to have some classes that teach guys how to do that.
I can't teach them, but yeah, we can start out. Let's you and I do that. We'll start a GoFundMe. We're gonna do presentation classes. I'm here for it. Yeah. That's basically what it was. So it was like I just got into wine, and realized when I was working at Papa, I was like, oh, I can put down a bottle of wine, and that's $35, or I can go and sell 4 cocktails, and I'm running back and forth to the bar. So it was just something I'm just concentrating on selling wine. It really came down to laziness. Everything. The whole ethos for Taco y Vino is laziness for Jerry.
No, I don't think so. I think you're working smarter.
Yeah, that's
not harder.
That's what we say out loud. Yeah, that's totally. But yeah.
That's hilarious. So tell me some of the highs that you've experienced in and owning this restaurant, Taco y Vino, which we love. It's a staple in our community. And tell me some of the lows.
A lot of the highs is just, I'm a big believer in that we're going to take from things, and I obviously, as a restaurant owner, as a business owner in Oak Cliff, we are definitely taking from the community. There's no ends of buts about it. We're supported by our surrounding community, right. And I always try to like even that out, if you will. So it's like, I try to be involved and try to give back to the neighborhood as much as I can. We and that's really it's just. It's a matter of just like balancing out your ethos, and so like I try to be like we've always been involved with Go Cliff, for the past 12 years, and then I'm actually involved in something called Zoo to Do at the Dallas Zoo, one of your sponsors, and try to just do things like that to try to just balance it out and just try to I may not always be able to monetarily give back to the community, but I can always try to, give time. And that's something that I try to do. And that makes me feel good. At the end of the day, like and being able to teach that to my boys, like, hey, like, we're doing this, you're donating time, get your friends. You don't just take, we always need to restore and give back goodwill. Right. And I think that's an important part that sometimes we get busy and we forget, and it's, I try to keep that very prevalent in my mind.
Let's talk about real quick what your relationship is or the partnership with Go Oak Cliff. What are you specifically supporting that's in the community? I know that they do a lot of different things, but what are you focused on?
Yeah, it's definitely it's basically a production company. And when before I came to Oak Cliff, I was down here for when Obama got elected. And they shut down Bishop Arts and had this huge green. It was like, it was basically the campaign, celebration party.
Yeah.
And loved it. Fell in love with Bishop Arts, because that was where it was. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. These people are just like shutting down the streets and they're doing cool stuff. And then came back down for the Mardi Gras parade. And then, I was like, dude, this is where I want to be. Anyone that is and Go Cliff was started by Amy Cowan and Jason Roberts, and they've since left the neighborhood. But I dug what they were doing, and when you can go and bring people out of the street, out of their homes into the streets, and create neighbors hanging out, and that's a very beautiful thing, and it's just something that I've always enjoyed. Like one of my favorite days of the year is the Mardi Gras parade. We're coming up on Blues Band's Barbecue the second week in November. And, with Blues Band's Barbecue, Mardi Gras Parade is obvious. It's a parade that comes down Davis Street, and, it's just a fun time. Everyone in the streets hanging out, and, it's just a great time. And then a Blues Band's Barbecue it's basically an amateur barbecuing competition where, like, all the neighborhood, like everyone has a group, everyone has a pit, and they can do a brisket, a sausage, a chicken, and pork of some sort, or rib or whatever. And it's awesome. Like we sit there on Friday night, and everyone starts their cooker, and then we sit there and we drink in the park, with your neighbors and your homies. Yeah. And then the next day we try to make sure to keep the fires on the whole time, so everyone can have a product for everyone to taste, for a judge. Yeah. And but yeah, it's getting people out of their homes and doing things with their neighbors. And something that I'd like to be more involved with is the Cinco de Mayo parade. Like, just these things that require tons of money to put on and orchestrate. Like, if you can imagine, the Mardi Gras parade costs like over $60,000 to put on. Sure. Because there's no monetizing that. Yeah. And that's the other thing. Like, you don't want to monetize things. You want to do it for the greater good of everybody. Right. So that's what makes it so hard. And we don't want these things to go away. And I also don't want, like, the Cinco de Mayo parade to go away. You know? So, that's one of my goals for this year, is to reach out to those community leaders and who do that and see what I can do to help out with it as well.
That's fabulous because all too often, as business owners, um, that's the forgotten element, the community element. And so
100%.
beautiful that you are a part of a community that gives back to the community that you're serving. And I think that that's awesome. Talk to me about your relationship with the Dallas Zoo, with their Zoo to Do project.
The Dallas Zoo is, I've always loved zoos. I've always loved, like, I'll give you a little background. So, like, both my boys went to Rosemont, and for fifth grade, they would go and do this trip to Houston, and they would go to the Space Center. They take all the kids to the beach. You're at the beach for like 20 minutes. They play in the water, and then they go to the rooms. And I was a chaperone. And the second year I went, I think it was second year, first year. I think it was second year. The waters were gorgeous. Like, you're like, dude, this is nice. Like, because I think we're in, I don't even remember where we're at, like Beaumont or like wherever that was. And I was looking at the water, and I'm like, man, the water looks amazing. Like, this is really gorgeous. And there's another older gentleman standing next to me, and he was a chaperone also, probably like in his late 60s, early 70s. And he's just like, he's crying. And I was like, yeah, dude, isn't this gorgeous? This is amazing. And he's like, I don't know, I've never seen the ocean. And I was like, dude, that hit me.
Right.
And then it kind of started hitting me, like, in a sense that that's a lot of these kids. Like, we get in like, Oak Cliff is a big, beautiful area. And the reason why I moved to Oak Cliff is so that my boys can grow up in a place that I grew up, that's similar to where I grew up, where you see a beautiful melting pot of tons of different cultures and different, like, income variation, and you get to understand that is what America is. It's not just, we're very lucky to be middle class, and we have a lot of friends that are very well to do, but it's more than that, and we all need to kind of rise up together. It isn't like, it's something that, anyway, I'm getting off topic, but like, it's when that's always resonated with me, and I tell that story all the time because it's something that these kids don't leave Oak Cliff.
Yeah, that's
like,
right.
There's a lot of these people that don't leave this area.
Yeah.
They wake up, they go to work, they come home, and then that's it.
Yeah.
And the zoo is imperative because I say what you want about the ideas of, like, well, these animals are to be free and they're sort of they're caged, but that's not. Yes, that is a point, and yes, you can. It's obviously a thought process, and I respect it. But a lot of these animals are gone, and they're trying to be put back in the law to reestablish like, I didn't expect to go on this tangent, so I'm not really thinking clearly.
That's okay.
But the population for these animals, and it's a great thing that the zoo does.
Yeah.
But the reason why I'm involved with it is, without that zoo, none of these kids, none of these adults would ever get to see a lion.
Yeah.
It'd be a cartoon that they see, or it'd be something they see on TV. It'd be, they don't get to, you never get to see half of these animals, and it's amazing to see them in person. The first time I ever saw a bald eagle, I was like, oh yeah, I totally get it. That thing is amazing.
Yeah.
I literally thought it was a stupid little bird flying around. I was like, how does that represent our entire country?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like when you see them and you're like, oh, that's cool. Like, that's impressive. But it's a difference of seeing something, on a flat screen, to seeing something that's almost tangible, that you can touch, that you can go and read about in the zoo, and it enlightens another level of passion, I think. And that's why I wanted to be involved with the zoo. And so what I do for the zoo is I'm called the chef wrangler. I basically, for the Zoo to Do, which is our big fundraiser for the Dallas Zoo, is November 1st. I select all the restaurants and chefs. So it's a walkabout stroll. You walk in, get to try snacks and bites from about 40 different restaurants, and then there's a cool auction afterwards. And all the money goes to the zoo, and it's basically the non-red tape money for the zoo. So it's the money that they fundraise, that they have easier access to for, if they need money quickly, rather than requesting it and getting a response 6 months later, things of that nature.
So, Jimmy, that is beautiful because you're so right in that a lot of times folks in this community need exposure
Yeah,
to
totally.
different things. They need to go outside the borders of Oak Cliff to understand that the world is bigger than Oak Cliff.
For sure.
So let's talk about expansion and seeing other things and doing other things in terms of Taco y Vino because you're growing like
Yeah.
crazy.
We're super excited. We're doing a second location off Main Street in Garland in
Yeah.
the downtown area that we're super excited about. Um, I don't know when this is going to air, but we're hoping to be open the first week of September,
Okay.
and that's next month, right? August? No, yes, yeah, first week next month. Yeah, and yeah, it's really exciting. It's excited about having. I love Taco y Vino. Like I go out with my wife and friends, and we're doing this. Like, let's go back to Taco y Vino. Like everyone, like we always end up back at Taco y Vino. And
Yeah.
it's the ethos of it is like just a place to hang out. You
Yeah.
know, like just like you want to chill, and it's just a vibe, and I love it. I helped build the place for myself.
Yeah.
And trying to replicate that in a second location and maintain that vibe and everything. It's I felt great about it. I
Yeah.
felt really I was like, oh, I got this. It's gonna be really easy now. I was talking to a chef friend of mine, Matt Balky over at Encina, and he was just like, dude, I don't know how you're keeping it together. Like, I'd be so stressed. And he's like, I just don't know how you're doing it. Like, you look like you really got this together. And I was like, oh shit, I should be stressed. I was like, oh my God. I was like, dude, he's right. What am I doing? So I haven't slept since then. And yeah, it was about,
You need
that was
new
about-
friends.
That was about 3 weeks ago. So no, it's
That's funny.
but that's what it is. It's I take stress in that. Like we can put up the shell of what Taco Vino is, but to fill it with the ethos of what I want it to be is the difficult thing. And but I love it. I'm here for it. Like I think it's a great concept. I think you can contribute to the communities that it's in. One of the, when you look at doing different restaurants, you have replicatable factors. One is, the record player. I'm always going to have a record player
Yes.
because I love that vibe that
Yeah.
it puts out. But the biggest one probably is the restoration of old buildings. Like I never want to Taco Vino in a mini mall. I'm not saying it'll never happen. I just don't want it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I want us to go and going back to the community, the sense of community, and what we've been talking about, I kind of feel like it's an odd focus of what we're talking about. But like repurposing old buildings, like not tearing down things anymore. Let's with, I think now with the establishment of like Amazon and everything else, malls are dying.
Yeah.
And it's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
But those malls were built with a purpose for just a mall. Downtown areas and like these places, these communal areas like that had the courthouse and they had the True Value and they had all these shops. All those shops died because of malls. It pulled people from community centers and put them in these big air conditioned malls. And now that malls have gone, we're starting to see this resurgence of these old school community areas. And really it's what happened in Bishop Arts. It's where there was a cool area that had fallen by the wayside, and people were talking like I wanted the Jim and Amanda Lakes, the Dave Spence, the Joe McRoys saw value in that area, and then helped curate people to build it back up. And the community backed them and believed in them, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And it's another way community comes together, and that's part of the ethos of Taco Vino. I'm not saying that we're the driving force behind it. I'm not trying to be cocky about it. I'm just like I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of what revitalizes these cool areas. And like downtown Garland, dude, it's awesome. Like it's these cool older buildings. Like our building was built in like the late 20s.
Okay.
Yeah, it was so crazy. Like the building itself, the world had built up around it. You know what I mean? So it was like, it was built here, and the rest of the world was like right here.
Oh wow.
So we had to like almost level it off.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's cool to go and see these like older spaces brought back to life and look new again.
Yeah.
And there's still like 100-year-old buildings.
Yeah.
And not 100 years old quite, but getting there.
Almost.
Yeah. And so it's what we did in and Bishop's with the restoration of that old bungalow, and what we're doing in Garland with the restoration of that little square block of that little house, or that little building. It's cool. And then you walk out of these walk off these beautiful redone sidewalks into this great restored building that you're seeing the same brick that was laid in 1928.
Yeah. Oh,
You know,
I love
that,
it.
dude, I love it too. Like, that's so cool. And, I think that's part of what makes Taco Vino cool too.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. I can't wait to see it. I just hear you talk about what it looks like, and as Amanda Lake is one of my closest friends in the world, and
Amazing woman.
Yeah,
Yes.
hands down one of the most interesting, creative people that I've ever met. And Jim and Amanda are redevelopers, and I'm
Yeah.
always interested in seeing how they're taking one of those older homes or buildings or whatever and making it something beautiful.
Agreed. Yeah.
So I can't wait to see Garland.
I love what Jim and Amanda do. I've never worked with them personally. But from an outsider's point of view, they go and they try to get tenants that are trying to establish themselves and give them an opportunity, similar like what Joe did with me.
Yeah.
And you're seeing that happen in Bishop Arts with their properties, and I have a lot of respect for them.
Yeah, they're amazing people. So let's talk about Bishop Arts and Love Lady.
Yep. Lady Love.
Lady Love.
Love.
Love Lady. Okay,
Yeah.
Lady Love. Why did I get that backwards?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. Lady Love's cool. We've always had DJs and things at Taco Vino, and on Mondays we would go and set up DJ setup, and my buddy David who owned Spinster would go and basically train his other salespeople at Spinster to DJ, and he would train them at Taco Vino in the backyard. So we'd go and set up, and we'd do like cumbia nights. We'd have all these things, and of course, once they got going, David, my wife Holly, and myself would sit there and we'd just start drinking, and we're just like listening to DJs, enjoying the music, and like someone come on, I'd Shazam it so that I could have that stored for later, buy the record later, and we're like, and then Kate would come out, and Kate would hang, and she was like, dude, we should totally do this. We need to get together. Let's do like a record lounge. We're gonna do this, and we're like, yeah. And then the next day, forget all about it, And then a couple of years ago, Grilled Cheese Company went under. Yeah. And Dallas Grilled Cheese, and it was coming out of COVID, it was just rough. Yeah. It was rough for a lot of people. Yeah. And they decided to part ways with the space, and David went and just like, hey, can you come down here? And I was like, yeah, no problem. Walked in, he's like, what do you think? I was like, I think it's Dallas Grilled Cheese. He's like, what do you think about it? Let's do our thing. Let's do a lounge. And I was like, fuck yeah. I was like, let's do it. Let's go.
Let's do
and
it.
So, so David went and like did all the sound and all the curation of all that. Kate is the like vibe creator. Like she's amazing. She does all the booking. Yeah. Like I said earlier, with like we have R&B nights on Tuesdays, and that was Kate and Ash's baby. It's like just amazing. Just what you can do and this is again going back to, the idea and the ability to set up a community, create a community and a vibe where people want to come together, be together, and hang out. And that's what Lady does. I mean, it's just like we're super accepting of everybody. We want everyone to have a good time. We don't want to be like an atypical club with a guy at the front with an AK. Yeah. You want to, because that builds a wall. Like you greet that immediately, create like this alpha energy. Yeah. And that's something we don't want. Yeah. We want it to be just super laid back, and just people to have the ability just to come in and just relax and enjoy themselves. Yeah. We don't want to ever charge a cover, because again, it's like, okay, if you don't, if you just want to come and vibe, just come vibe, and it's, love for you to support the business, of course, like, buy something, it is business. Yeah. Try not to put up these walls around your space that either can make people feel trapped or make them feel like they can't get in. Yeah. And, so it's, and that's part of that, that's a big part of like ethos, going back to it, is like keeping things a part of things you want to be in, keeping things like approachable and easy, and that's what Lady Love does really well.
I have so many questions, and I'm trying to figure out which one I wanted to ask next, but where did the name come from?
So we started out with like, what was it, Cat Lady, and then and because this is a knockoff of Spinster, Lady Love was it just made sense. Like David said it, and I was like, I don't know, and then I was like, Lady Love, and then it was like Lounge and Sounds. I'm like, yeah, that's it, that's it. You know, just like it just fit. And then when you go in the space, it fits the space.
Yeah.
It's just, it's, you know, I think that it's hard out there for, you know, particularly for women to feel safe.
Yeah.
And you know, it's a real weird time. You know, like
That's right.
it's and I think when we want everything about Lady Love to be approachable for everyone to feel safe in the space. I know I keep repeating that term over and over, but it's so imperative that it's driven because it's and that we that's from the thought, the ethos, the genesis of the concept all the way through the name. You know, and Lady Love is part of that. Like it was part of that, like, no, it's just feel the love. Like, you know, it's like you just feel the love. You know, everything's love.
Yeah.
You know? And so
So Lady Love has a very interesting drink menu to me.
Yeah.
It's extremely, you know, it's just, now talking to you, I can feel it, I can see it, I understand it. But how did you land on the drink menu? Because it's really...
It's been a beautiful evolving process. We opened up with a bar manager, Heather, that was amazing. It was her kind of vision. She had some killer cocktails on there.
Yeah.
And then she moved on and left. And rather than promote, I don't like the idea of managers, and I don't like the idea of people. I don't like the idea of people managers. I don't like the idea. I like the idea of leadership. I want leaders in spaces. I don't want directors and people telling people what to do.
Yeah.
So what we did instead of you know, hiring another manager, is we got up 3 people that we believed in, and that's, you know, Ashley, Cordia, and Thomas, and, you know, kind of lifted them up to take over the program, take responsibility of the program, but moreover lead and help guide the other bartenders to be better and successful in this industry. You know, it doesn't do any good. Like, one of the best things I can ever have is someone's like, dude, I'm taking this GM position. You know, like, hey, I'm going to go do my own thing. Like, hey, I'm opening up my own bar. Like, that to me, you never want to stymie growth. You want to help growth, and you do that through leadership, not through managing and directing. You do that through, like, helping people build. And so now what Cordia, Ash, and Thomas do is they go and we empower the staff to make their own cocktails. And they crush it. Like, you know, like, you know, and, you know, who drinks more than bartenders? Like, you know, like, they're constantly going out. Well, because we only hang out with ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, we, you know, it's like we're Indians. You know what I mean? Like, we only hang out with other Indians, you know? So we're constantly going to the bars. We're constantly trying other things. We're constantly in education classes, trying to, you know, develop our palates and try new stuff in market or old stuff in market. And so get these creative ways that, you know, that create creative cocktail lists. And, you know, hopefully quickly, because, you know, sometimes you get a little busy.
Well, so, yeah. It is by far one of the most unique cocktail menus I've seen in the area, and I love it. And maybe this speaks to how much of a drunk I am, and maybe that I bounce around to different restaurants. But I love your cocktail menu there.
Thank you.
So in terms of both concepts, where do you see them in 5 years from now?
Lady Love, you know, we want to go, and there's, you know, we talk a lot about it, you know, amongst ourselves with the idea of contrived concepts. You know, contrived concepts are like, oh, I want to do this because this is what this needs. Not, I do this because I want to do this. And so, I think with concepts that are cool and are genuine and come from a good place, like Lady Love, they're gonna have legs. You know, they're gonna, you know, I hope to be around and still killing it in you know, 10 years, but also, like, be able to evolve with what's going on.
Right.
You know, there's 2 new concepts that are opening up in the downtown area that are very close to what Lady Love is. You know, how do we keep our originality and but still find a way to grow and expand for a new competition. And I think we just slow and steady, we ride the course. We surround ourselves with staff that is better than us, and we help build everybody. And I think we can do that with Lady Love. Taco Vino is it's been in the past 7 years. We originally were going to expand in 2000, and we looked at space in Farmers Branch that I loved, and we did a pop-up there in February. I was like, dude, we're going to do this. My wife and I made a quick trip out of town, and then I came back and the pandemic hit, and we're just like, oh, we're not doing shit. We're just gonna buckle down. It was like, I give myself one day to be like sad about something, and then the next day I attack it. It's like so like March 16th had a bunch of called everybody, find out what everyone's doing. Like, we're shutting down. I was like, I can't shut down. This is, we've got people to support. And then, later on, the front of house got support, but the kitchens didn't. So I actually added to my kitchen during the pandemic because people were pushed out of jobs. So it was like, the ability to be able to keep everybody alive was real big then. And that taught me a lot. The reason why I reference COVID in that way is that taught me, if we support our people and we support the people that work with us, everything comes out okay. Does it monetarily, is it the best financial decision? No. But if we take care of the people that work with us, you're going to send out an outward sound that everyone wants to hear. And if I can replicate that with Taco Vino, I think we'll have hopefully a couple more. Garland's not going to be the last. Hopefully, want to do a couple more in the mid cities. I think I'm done in Dallas.
Okay.
But yeah, little surrounding areas. It's just rent in Dallas is so expensive.
Yeah. Jimmy, you're a vibe on your own. So you can see that in your restaurants. That why wouldn't it be a vibe? Because you're a vibe, right?
Thank you.
You definitely are. So, and not only that, I see you when I'm in in your restaurants. You're very, very active in these places and spaces. So from a personal standpoint, how do you chill out? Because you're always working.
It's I drink a lot. I've thought about getting back into drugs, but
no, you have not.
I really haven't.
You have not.
Just I don't need more vices, Right. And also we're in a bad economy. I can't even afford drugs.
I cannot afford it. I cannot afford a vice.
Yeah, no, I can't afford a new vice. No, it's I bring my family in. It's if I'm not working, I'm spending money. You know what I mean? So it's like if I want to hang out with my kids come work with me. And I have two boys. One just graduated from Townview. My other one's senior at Townview. And he was shocked when I was up with him this morning. He's like, "What are you doing up?" I was like, "I'm making coffee." He's like, "I already made it." I was like, "I thought I just made coffee. I was that asleep this morning." But my other son's going to UTD, but they both worked with me. They were there the day that we opened up Taco Vino, and they come in, they'll hang out for a couple hours, and that's what we do. My wife will go and sit at the bar. She's also in the service industry. She's a catering director, and we work. That's kind of just what we do. Oddly enough, I don't watch a lot of TV. I don't spend a tremendous amount of time at home. When I do, we'll listen to records and hang out. But yeah, it's. I mean, I probably work more than one should. But it's also it's what I do.
Yeah.
It's what I enjoy.
Yeah.
It's also if you're not making money, you're spending money.
That's right.
It goes back to it.
That's right.
And plus, I don't need more time with my vices.
Well, there's that.
Yeah, there's that.
There's that. Well, thank you so much for coming and chatting with us
This
today.
is an amazing experience. And again, like just very humbled and honored that y'all would invite me out here. Like it's super cool. And yeah, I really appreciate the opportunity.
Well, thank you for being here. You are one of the most amazing staples in this community. I frequent both places. And so thank you. Thank you once again for being here. So you have just heard from the amazing Jimmy Contreras, and just in case you haven't gone by the two businesses of his, Taco y Vino and Lady Love, please make sure you do so. We'll see you next time right here on Strictly Business Unscripted. I'm your host, Keandra Jones, and again, thank you for watching another episode of Strictly Business Unscripted. We'll see you next time.